Always a good time having my next guest on the show. It's the truth, Grant Neal, who will be competing this Friday at Bellator Champions Series in Belfast, Ireland, when he takes on Luke Trainer. Grant, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What a phenomenal intro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always a good time talking to you, man. And again, I appreciate the time, especially during fight week. It's weight cut day right now, so let's just start there. What's the weight at? Are you near? Are you kind of like where you normally would be?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. My camp has been great, and when you have a really good camp, it makes this day a lot easier than maybe other people. But we've been disciplined throughout camp, and now it's just time to finish it up and win the first battle.
And what time is it in Ireland there right now? It's getting later.
It is 6:30, I think, right around
6:30.
there, 6:30 p.m.
What was the travel like? It's kind of a hike to get all the way to Belfast, Ireland. How was the flight and all that?
Oh, it was pretty good. The initial flight we flew into Heathrow. And then we had a small layover and then uh, did like a little puddle jumper over to Northern Ireland. So it wasn't too bad, but definitely a different atmosphere, different than a normal fight week. It's been fight weeks for me because I decided to come out 10 days before the fight and get to familiar with my environment and the people here, and I got to finish my last week of training camp out here, which was pretty cool and new experience. But it I think it's going to bode really well when, and I know it will when I get in the cage.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, so hopefully one day. Is it as beautiful as all the pictures and the videos make it seem?
Oh, yes. It's gorgeous, but you have to go on you have to do like 2 weeks because it takes 2 weeks for you to see the sunshine.
Where did you finish up camp? Is there certain gym and training partners that you had when you made it there?
Yeah, so I finished up camp in well, I went to SBG Dublin, and then I also trained at Fight Gym here in uh, Belfast, and so they were both really accommodating, really helped me finish my camp out. And then there was another like local gym that provided like all the necessities for recovery, so like saunas and um, cold bath and all that type of stuff. And so I mean, the fight fans out here are unbelievable. You're you're treated really well when you come and fight in Belfast. It's a lot different than in the States, I will say.
Have you run into Conor McGregor there at SBG at all?
I didn't run into Conor McGregor or Coach Kavanaugh, but his staff and everybody there were awesome, and they really allowed us to really do what we needed to do to prepare and finish up camp.
How about the food? Has it been difficult finding what you need to eat to make sure your body and your weight stay where it needs to be?
No, it's actually been quite simple. I don't mind eating the same thing every day, so it's literally just been steak and potatoes every single day.
That sounds pretty
So
good.
yeah, it's been great, and the quality of food here has been great, and all the restaurants that we've visited have been very accommodating towards like just different things that I need in my meals for to hit the requirements that will help me make weight, you know. So um, everybody's been super understanding and uh, been really working with me in order to make sure I go out there and can perform my best.
How do you think the fans, the people in the arena, are going to react? You're fighting the hometown guys, so you're going to be, the wearing the black hat going in there. Are you expecting to feel that from the fans come fight night?
Um, it depends on which fans are in there. So if it's a lot of people from Belfast, I'm definitely going to be the dark horse. But if I have the Irish, they are going to be heavily probably on my side, and I'm going to win them over by making it a devastating, exciting fight. And putting on a show for them.
Can't wait to see it, man. Let's talk about your last fight. It was all the way back in October, Bellator 300, UD victory over Romero Cotton. Sum that up for me. How would you rate your performance, scale of 1 to 10?
I felt that I had a really, really solid performance. Everything really started to come together and click. Um, the only thing missing was getting the finish at the end, but I was really, really close. Just ran out of time. Unfortunately, I start my finishing sequence 20 seconds earlier, and that fight's done in the third round. So, um, I really felt like the game plan was implemented well and executed well, and pretty solid victory.
Yeah, and again, tough guy beating Romero Cotton. He's been around for a little while, good record. What's your thoughts just on the whole PFL Bellator merger and all the other potential, fighters out there that you could match up with? How excited are you about this merger?
Yeah, it's really exciting. The merger is awesome. I know Bellator just announced that they're going to be on Max in the States, which is really cool for the organization. And I think and you don't have to do anything extra. I know a lot of people were complaining that, oh man, I have Showtime, but then I have to do Showtime pay-per-view and all this other stuff. And or I have to now buy the zone or whatever. So Bellator did a good job of I nailing that deal down with Max, and now all fans from all around the United States, all around the world, have access to be able to watch the fights. And um, I really think that the merger is going to help the continued success with marketing the fighters and the big fights and getting exposure out there because Bellator has phenomenal fighters and phenomenal fights, but a lot of the issue is people don't know when everybody's fighting. There's been multiple times where people are like, "Man, I didn't realize you were fighting this week," and
Yeah.
so I think now that's going to start to change, and I think it's going to be a really good outcome for all the fighters, and it's going to benefit us quite a bit.
When you talk to a lot of the fighters on your team, just when you guys are talking in private about just the promotions out there, I think it's fair to say, right, like the UFC is considered the top dog, but with PFL and Bellator merging, I feel like the gap is closing and closing. Like what is your thought process on that, and just what the future of MMA?
Yeah, I think at the top, in the top 10 in any of the weight classes, it's really competitive between the organizations. The UFC is really deep. So, um, outside of the top 10, I think the UFC definitely has an upper hand and a good leg, but they're just really deep roster. They have notoriety, name recognition, and UFC is synonymous with MMA. They're like tissue and Kleenex. So I think that PFL is starting to do a good job and Bellator combining. Now it's very interesting for that brand and that organization to where now you see Dana's really starting to kind of talk poorly and talk bad about something, and he only does that when he's nervous or um, threatened by certain things. So it's a really good place to be in for fighters,
Mm.
um, because then it gives a lot more autonomy to fighters that want to fight often, that want to get paid for what they do and compensated well, and in order to be able to feed their families and provide entertainment to the fans. So I think overall having another top dog organization can only benefit the fighters more.
And how many fights do you have left on your current contract?
I have 3 fights left on my current contract.
Do you think you'll fulfill that in 2024? Do you expect to fight three more times?
So I have my wife is pregnant, so I am going to do this fight and do another fight before the year is done, and then the end of the year is when our due date is. So our early fall is when she's due, and yeah, I think after my baby comes, I'm gonna evaluate and see the dynamic of the household, and then probably fight again early next year.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the post you made on Instagram, man. Congratulations on all that. You got married last June. You got a baby in September, so life is good for you. Do you know the gender, or is that something you're waiting for?
We just got the news today, but my wife is making me wait till I get back home to tell me the gender.
Oh my God. I don't know that I'd be able to wait. I would be blowing my wife's phone up. Is that hard for you, especially with the fight?
Oh, it's really difficult, but the good thing is she doesn't know either. So her mom got the news, and so we'll find out together. And I know that means quite a bit to her, so that helps me feel a little bit better because it means so much to her that we find out together. So um I can withstand that.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, congratulations, man. My wife and I were trying for our first as well, and she wants a girl, I want a boy, but at the end of the day, I think all that matters is you have a healthy baby, and that's the most important thing. So, yeah, life is good. You guys are blessed.
Oh yeah, I really agree. I mean, having a healthy baby and bringing a life into this world is really a blessing. I think you put it in the right terms. It gives a new meaning to life, and I think for me at least, it's opened my eyes to a lot more than what I thought previously life was. It just an invigorated responsibility and understanding about what life is. And I think that's so much fun. And I only think it's going to make me a better fighter. So it's everybody's on notice.
Good for you, man. Congratulations. Before we transition back to this upcoming Bellator event and this fight here, I want to talk a little bit of football with you. I know, obviously, we've talked in the past, you're friends with Christian McCaffrey. I am still upset that the Chiefs beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. I'm sure you probably feel somewhat similar, right? Like, did you
Oh,
expect that to happen? Because I thoroughly thought that San Francisco was going to go in there and give them a beatdown.
oh man, I knew that it would be a tough game because Patrick Mahomes is a competitor. Point blank, period. I had 100% faith in the 49ers and still like man, their team is still phenomenal and those guys are all deserving, but sometimes you do everything possible and still come up a little short, and um that one definitely still hurts. I mean, I was out there to celebrate with Christian and celebrate the win. But unfortunately that didn't happen. But sometimes things in life, there's a bigger lesson to be learned and a greater picture, even if you can't see it in the immediate forefront. But yeah, I mean, hats off to Patrick Mahomes and just back to the drawing board for those guys.
How many more years or how many more seasons of elite productivity do you think McCaffrey has?
I think he'll have elite productivity as long as he wants to. He's Christian is the epitome of someone who is talented but also works hard. The common cliche is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Well, what do you do when talent works hard? And so that's who Christian is. So Christian will play as long as he wants to play. And he does everything right. Um, and I admire it. And a lot of what I do is because of what he does. And we have constant conversations about how to elevate our level in our sports and in our lives and what we're doing on and off the field in his case and inside in and out of the cage in my case and really just bettering ourselves in order to be the best at what gifts God has given us. God, I'm a strong Christian. I'm a firm believer, and I think that when God gives you a gift, it's important to exalt His name by using the gifts that He gave you in the best way possible. And um, like I said, with Christian, he's gonna do it as long as he can and as long as he wants to, and myself as well.
Yeah, you can't help but be a fan of the both of you guys. I'll tell you, my favorite running back of all time is Barry Sanders, but Christian
Yeah,
McCaffrey is so much fun to watch. I'm a Patriots guy, but I always turn on the Niners when they're playing to watch him and the rest of the talented guys. Before we
yeah.
transition again, one last thing about football, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know how good Patrick Mahomes is. I'm not stupid. Like, I know he's amazing, but what as a Patriots fan, as a Tom Brady fan, I feel like people are prisoners of the moment, right? Like he's got 3 rings now. He's still got a lot of work to do to catch Brady. Like, what is your thoughts on all that? Because it's like nowadays everyone wants to say, this person's the GOAT, this person's the best. How do you feel Mahomes stacks up all time?
I think recency bias is definitely a thing, but we also know that Patrick Mahomes is doing things that nobody has ever done in the sport since the sport existed. Um, Now, the longevity of Tom Brady, that I think that is something that is unbelievable, phenomenal, and great. And now, if that could be replicated by Mahomes, there's no question in my mind that he'd be the best to ever do it. And I don't think it should be a question in anybody else's mind, whether you like the guy or not. The dude is he's a great, and now you can't really take anything away from him. And there's only what 3 other quarterbacks that have done what he's done. So he's already on the Mount Rushmore, and now it's just what else can he do
Mhm.
at this point? So it's yeah, I think he is. I think he is one of the greats and has very well the potential to be the best to ever play that position in the sport.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like, if he stays healthy and sticks around for a long time, if he can catch Brady. I mean, Brady's got 7 now, so he's almost halfway there. But yeah, I'm a big football fan, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that with you. Let's talk about Luke Trainer here, right? He's 7-1. He's 4-1 in the Bellator roster or promotion. 3 TKO victories, 4 submission wins. What do you think about this guy as far as the matchup goes?
I think he's a really good competitor, really good fighter. I think he's one of the best guys on the 205 roster. That's why I think it's a great fight for me. If you look at the caliber of opponents that I've always fought, I've never fought anybody that is not the best before they fight me, or on a win streak before they fight me, or undefeated before they fight me. So I think it's just another opportunity to um, get better. My goal is never was never to just win this fight. My goal is to be the best to ever do it. And whatever organization that is, whatever cage that is, I want to be the best, and the only way to be the best is to beat the best. And so I really feel that Luke Trainer has shown himself to be one of the best, and I feel that my skill set matches up really well against what he offers and brings to the table. And that being said, he's a good competitor, good fighter.
I'm sure you've watched plenty of tape on him. The one loss that he has was a unanimous decision loss. Did you take anything from that fight? Anything that you can kind of implement here in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, my coaches and my team, we did a lot of film breakdown and um, understand his tendencies and things that he likes and things that he doesn't like. And but that, I mean, it's one thing to break down an opponent. It's one thing to get in the cage with them finally and implement your game plan. So, I mean, I could be fighting a completely different Luke Trainer than he's shown. So I don't put too much stock into it, but when the fire is on, a lot of times people revert back to what's comfortable and their tendencies. So we've trained a lot for that, and we're definitely going to bring the fire. So um, I expect um, a really good performance in my part, and I know that I will have my hand raised by the end of the fight.
Are you going to be upset though, Grant, if you have another decision victory? Do you want to go in there and like make a statement by finishing this guy, or as long as you win every minute of every round, will that be enough to kind of keep you happy here moving forward?
I mean, everybody wants a finish, and that's why a lot of guys pad their records with guys that aren't any good. Because they just want the finishes and want the highlights and stuff like that. But as we've kind of seen recently in some of these events, you get a lot of guys that are undefeated or were on a win streak or that had the hype, and they're like, man, why are they losing? Like, what? How did they get knocked out, or what's going on? And if you look back at it, it's like, well, they're not really fighting anybody. And with me, like everybody that I fought is really good. There's not there's not a person on my that I fought in Bellator that's not really good or was the best or was the big time person coming into the cage before they fought me. Um, and so that being said, like because you're fighting some of those guys, it may be more difficult to get those type of finishes, but every time I'm working for that finish. Like I was 20 seconds from the finish with Romero, and so now we just tweak that a little bit and it just gets better and better and better and better until those start coming on really good guys. I really feel that this is my year and I'm ready to take it over.
Do you think you get the finish here in this one against Trainer? What's your official prediction?
I believe that I finished Luke Trainer, and whether it comes on the feet or on the ground, I feel my skill set is overwhelming um, in both areas, and I really feel that 3 rounds with me, the within those 3 rounds, I'm getting the finish. It's already been written.
Can't wait to watch, man. The main event's the vacant 205 title, Corey Anderson, Carl Moore. Give me your prediction, your analysis of that fight.
I mean, Carl Moore is fighting at home. Um, that can be a blessing and it can be a curse. So he's also fighting a veteran who's been in these positions, been in the big fights, understands the mentality of being a headliner. So I really feel that Corey Anderson is one of the greats in the game, one of the best to ever do it in the game. Um, and Carl Moore has an awesome opportunity to go and shock the world, but and anything can happen in 4-ounce gloves. But I really feel that Corey Anderson is a really good competitor, and I think he'll get the job done. And I know around town, everybody knows who Carl Moore is. Like I go out to the pub and eat, and go out to get a haircut or I'm around town or at the mall. Everybody is, oh, Carl Moore this, Carl Moore that, and um, that could either be a blessing or a distraction. And so if he's never experienced that type of pressure or that type of love or that type of um, constant uh, notoriety, I think that could be really detrimental to how you perform. So it's going to be interesting.
Last thing for me before we get you out of here, man. I know it's starting to get late there in Belfast, Ireland. How many fights away do you think you are from fighting for a title? In 2025, will you fight for a title? Will you have a gold belt around your waist?
My next fight is a title fight, whether that's at 185 or whether that's at 205. When I get the job done on Friday night, I will be in a title fight for my next fight. There's no one else that should be even be considered for that. When I went to middleweight, it was because we were preparing for a potential 85-pound Grand Prix in order to challenge for that title. When I vacated the weight class at 205, I was ranked ahead of Carl Moore, and now he's in the title shot. So um, definitely got a chip on my shoulder. But that being said, my next fight's for the title.
I love it, man. Great answer. I don't know how you could ever make 185. I've seen you in person. That boggles my mind how you can make 185. That's like a mystery that I think people need to look into.
Yeah, it was tough, and but like I'm willing to do what it takes. Those who risk are free. So Um, you got to sometimes take those type of risks in order to be free, do what you love, and I'm willing to do that. And a lot of people aren't.
Grant, always great talking to you, my man. For anyone out there watching, make sure you tune in this Friday. Grant Neal faces Luke Trainer at Bellator Champions Series in Belfast, Ireland. Before we do sign off, my man, I want to give you the floor. As always, anything you want to plug, anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I definitely want to thank My Fit Foods for really um, helping me along with this camp and this weight cut and everything, making everything feel good. And then I also want to thank Alpha Country Nutrition, they're the best in the game to help me refuel and get all my supplements and get my body ready to go in order to perform my best. And so I definitely want to shop those guys out. If you guys want to shop the same stuff that I have and use on a day-to-day basis, you can go to grantneal.com. That's my website. Everything and all the sponsors on my website are right there, and it's an awesome opportunity for you to kind of get some of the secrets that I have to success. So thank you again, and it was awesome being here for this interview, even though it's weight cut day.